Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Geese here, that's right, Seda, casting yet another of the CSL Season 5 playoffs. This is currently the Central Division semifinals between Indiana University and University of Texas at Austin. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and introduce the players. Playing as the Yellow Terran, we do have To Nguyen, aka Outplayed, playing for University of Texas at Austin. And on the other side of dual site, we do have the Blue Terran, ClashJPEG, aka Paul B. Kim. That's once again playing for Indiana University. So it does look like we are going to be seeing a TVT on dual site. This is a really cool map for TVT just because it allows for some interesting play styles. So mech, as we all hopefully know by now, is super slow. And if we just take a look at this particular map, the distance in between the main and the natural is pretty small. It's really not that difficult to secure the natural. As far as surface area to defend, you do have this sort of little grassy area over here, and then just down south of the waterfall, another little entrance that you could definitely siege up and bunker up and take a very fast natural. So we're probably going to see both players do that. However, the real question is securing the third. Do you try to expand towards your opponent and take that third, which if we just take a look, it increases the surface area you have to defend from all the way out here, or if you want to be smart, try to hold the watchtower, and even then you can still be looped around from behind. And I know it's super dark to see just because there is no map vision over here yet, but the surface area to defend is just so large if you try to take the third that is immediately following down the natural. And it does look like we have the SCV Scout, which will clear up the map a little bit and allow us to see just a little bit more of what's going on. So, whereas you could also take the close by air third, just lift off a CC and try to drop it down there, but then, once again, the surface area that you have to defend is absolutely huge. You have these two ramps over here, followed by another ramp, which allows for a third entrance, and this fourth one over here, which can then either split off and go to the natural or try to attack the third. So, it's really just going to be a toss-up to see how both players, A, spend their gas, and B, decide to go for the third. That's really where we're going to see the division in this particular matchup. We do have the SCV getting scared away by that Marine. He is just running around just to make sure he has an eye on when that expansion goes down, but Clash.jpeg is on top of it. He knows that SCV is around here somewhere, micros the Marine and gets the kill, so he does get that SCV scout down. In the meanwhile, while I was talking about the map, we did have both players grab their orbital, grab one gas, and now we immediately see factories going down, so pretty identical play so far from both players, grabbing a couple of extra Marines just to deny that scouting run around just a little bit. Looks like Clash is just keeping his Marines up at the top half of his ramp, whereas Outplayed is keeping his relatively lower. So far, it doesn't look like either player is really saving up for an expansion. I mean, it looks like Outplayed is just kind of sitting at around 400, but it's definitely going to be a toss-up whether or not he goes for that quick expo or not. As compared to his opponent, we do have reactors from both players, so we are going to see Hellions. And oh, there it is. There's the command center. Boom. Outplayed, looking to take an expansion, just going to be a little bit more aggressive and forward in that. We do see one Hellion already on its way out while the reactor finishes, and looks like instead Clash just wants to pump out more Marines instead of getting those reactored Hellions, and goes for a 1-1-1 instead of that powerful Hellion opener. So it does look like Outplayed is going to try to put on a little bit of harass and quote-unquote outplay his opponent just by keeping him on the defensive with Hellions while he secures an expansion. However, this very fast starport could mean some pretty quick Banshees, which could definitely put Outplayed on the back foot. Off of only one gas, I don't quite agree with Banshees. No, it actually just looks like Medivacs. So looks like Clash is just going up for some one-base play, just adding on a couple more tech structures just to round out that Marine-based army. So yeah, we do have two Hellions currently out, standard production. We have Outplayed now running around with his Hellions. Looks like he is going to scout that there is no natural. He's going to try to poke up, and one Hellion immediately goes down, but he does get a really good look at the composition. Clash, meanwhile, drops his own expansion now that he feels secure, now that he has a healthy ball of units to defend. And as far as production, we do actually see a Tech Lab switch going down on that starport, so we are going to see a Banshee pretty quick. Potentially. Don't make me look like a fool. Outplayed. Come on, you can do it. You've got the minerals and the gas. Banshees are 150, 100. No, it looks like no Banshee, I guess. So just continuing to get out those Marines. Looks like Outplayed actually dropping a bunker. He did see all of those Marines. I guess he's just a little bit cautious, but does look like Clash is perfectly comfortable just on the defensive now, scouting around, just making sure there isn't going to be any sort of drop shenanigans behind those Hellions. And now running out with his own Hellions, probably going to try to put on a harass. He does have that command center, and there we see Cloak going down for the Banshees, but no Banshees yet. And typically cloaked Banshees are better with Banshees. There we go. So finally there's the Cloak Banshee. A couple of Hellions now scouting around. They are going to see that there is no natural. It was turned straight into an orbital, but as far as Outplayed is playing, he's actually supply blocked, which is pretty bad. Needs to add on a couple more depots just to prevent that. And looks like we do have an engineering bay, which could be for defensive turrets or indicative of staying with that standard bio play. And it looks like Clash is just playing safe. He's got a Viking to try to deny drops, probably going to start patrolling the skies. He has a lot of Marines, and actually we do see Marine upgrades going down with +1 attack, so it does look like Clash is just going to stay on that bio composition, not going to go for any sort of mech play. Now adding on 1, 2, 3 barracks, did cancel a reactor for a tech lab. Does look like we have siege tanks now going out for Clash. So yeah, he's just going to be nice and defensive. And does look like we're about to have some Hellions run into each other, and a big roast goes down, but these Hellions are taking a lot of damage. Clash really got caught out of position and loses all 4 of his Hellions. He sees a lot of Hellions. What is that? 8 Hellions for Outplayed, and they are at completely full health. Does look like we now have a Banshee about to run in, but there is enough energy for a scan. Oh boy, this could be really dangerous, especially with the Viking already out. Clash is prepared. He knows what's going on. Sees one Marine. Let's see. He kills that Marine. Here comes the Vikings. Let's see. Oh no. And the cloak, and immediately the scan. No. Not quite yet. No scan. The Viking needs to get in position to take out that Banshee. It does look like there was a little bit of push play with these Banshees, but there were Marines in position. And here's the scan. Come on. You do have that Viking. What are you doing, man? Get it in there. Get it in. Oh, this Banshee actually getting up to 10 kills. And there's the scan. The Viking may get it, but the Banshee just flees, takes to the skies, and flies away. So now we have these 2 Banshees. They're going to meet up and try to do a little bit more damage as far as workers killed. Got 14 workers. That's really, really big. That really sets Clash behind. We'll just take a look at the income. It is 38 to 22 with Outplayed. Definitely ahead in workers, and he knows it. He immediately feels comfortable enough to grab Infernal Pre-Igniter. Yes, Infernal Pre-Igniter to try to take out the large Marine base composition of Clash, grabbing Siege Tank. Looks like we are seeing a little bit more mech play, and oh no, oh man, that Banshee at 8 health barely gets away because it flew into range of that missile turret. So meanwhile, these Hellions are out just kind of sitting in the middle of the map. This SCV needs to be on auto repair just so it gets those Hellions back up. And the Banshee continuing to scout around. I'm not sure if this is actually a misrally or if he's about to control this. No, he is controlling it. He knows it's there. Let's see if he can put on a little bit of damage. I don't know if he'll be able to with that missile turret right there, but we will definitely see. As far as income, let's see, we can open that on up. We see Outplayed is just winning. Winning, yes. Tiger Blood is definitely ahead in income. He does have that higher mineral income because he did get that expansion sooner. He does have more SCVs. He did just lose a lot of mules. They just died. A lot of gas going down as well. So looks like 3 gas, 2 4. Does look like we didn't have an armory go down, so it looks like Outplayed is actually going to go for that mech composition, adding on the reactor to continue, or he already had the reactor, just adding on siege tanks. He does not have siege tech quite yet, so really just sitting comfortable with that mech composition. Oh, the Hellions are caught out of position. They take a lot of fire. 2 of them go down. Now it looks like 3 and 4 also do go down, as a very scary push for Clash is coming up, especially without siege tech finish. So it does look like Outplayed is in a little bit of a bad situation. 1 Marine is stimmed to go for a scout. He will see these siege tanks and Hellions, but I don't know if it will be enough. Just let's see if we can drop the UI. We can. Awesome. That's super, super cool. So we will be able to watch this engagement in beautiful HD. and it does look like the world's most expensive scout, the factory, is being sacrificed for Clash, so he is comfortable doing that. And Outplayed actually got an SCV and a supply depot out there just for vision. That's really cool. We have a Hellion just scouting to make sure there is no third. The third did go down, but it's not in the actual third location yet, so it does look like Clash is going to take that natural third location just because he is comfortable that his Marine Marauder bio is quick enough to move around. And uh-oh, it looks like we could see an engagement if Clash decides to go in. Oh, the command center is dropped. This is a really bad position. Clash can get in and kill it before the cancel. Let's see. And oh, it is destroyed. There was no cancel and a big stim. Not enough medevacs to heal all of those. And Siege Tank just finished. The siege tanks do siege up. The Hellions are soaking the damage. A huge shot goes down, roasting a lot of those Marines. The additional damage from that pre-igniter is enough to really do a lot of damage. We just take a look at the supply. It is currently 120 supply to 100 for Clash. So really, really great engage for oh, a couple Hellions getting a little ahead of themselves against the Marauders. They don't really do that well. A couple Vikings now clearing the skies to eliminate those medevacs. The Marauders really, really doing a great job against the Hellions. But there is already a small mech ball, or bio and mech. It does look like one siege tank. Siege tank is not finished. And oh, the units are splitting up. Looks like they may try to get a flank. There is a big scan. The stim goes down, and the tanks are sieging. Let's see. Let's try to watch. As, oh no, the Marines and the Marauders take a lot of fire from the siege tanks. They managed to take out one, two, only one of the siege tank, and Mule gets dropped. I'm not sure if that was an insulting Mule or an I actually need to repair, and it was a repair Mule. We did have those Marines and Marauders pushing from the other side to destroy the Hellions for Outplayed and push forward, but it does still look like Outplayed is a solid 20 supply ahead. Just looking at the income, it does look like Clash actually caught up. It is currently 49 to 45 harvesters, so as far as income, Clash is, I guess you could say, theoretically ahead because he does have that third base. He already has it transforming into an orbital. I believe he has just about mined out his main, which is the same thing for both players. So they do need to start looking towards getting that extra base. Siege tanks are now still in production. +2 weapons is now started, and oh no, a very, very scary counterattack from Clash. He's really, really abusing the ability to build up a quick bio army. And pause, monitor blacking out, go. Looks like they are going again. So we see another CC going down to try to take that third. Really, as long as Clash continues to deny this third with his bio ball, even if he does take a little bit of damage, he can do quite a bit. Looks like this Banshee actually got 7 kills, killed a lot of workers, and oh, a couple Marines now to try to clean it up. The cloak was dropped to try to help. And this Banshee is going to get even more kills. These Hellions need to be careful. The Marauders do a lot of damage to Hellions. Already killed one. And here comes the Banshee now. Just going to try to take down the command center, actually. And it looks like Clash is just pulling everything to try to take care of this tiny, tiny harassment force. And SCV now repairing. It gets roasted almost instantly. And this command center is actually getting pretty low, down to 500 health. It is on fire, but the SCVs will be able to repair it. And here are the Marauders to try to clean it up. The Cloaked Banshee, will the scan go down to kill it? The Banshee just gets away to the high ground, so doesn't look like it was able to be killed. As far as army, we do actually, just taking a look at the units tab, we have 11 Hellions, 3 Banshees, about to be 2 Banshees. Oh, this Banshee is going to need to be careful. Yeah, 1 down, 2 Banshees, 6 Vikings, and 10 Siege Tanks for Outplayed, whereas Clash does have 1 Siege Tank, 17 Marauders, and 14 Marines. So really, as long as Clash continues to abuse the mobility of this crazy, crazy Marauder-based force, he will be able to be really effective in engagements. And uh-oh, looks like we will have an engagement about to go down, but a great, great spread from Clash. Looks like he's going to try to go for the flank. A big scan goes down to scout out. All of these tanks are sieged. I don't know if I agree with all of them being sieged. You could definitely try to get 2 or 3 and just try to creep forward. These Hellions do need to be careful. They are just scouting around. I feel like this is the mission in the single player where you've got to try to secure the artifact with all all of the siege tanks, where you first get those siege tanks and you just kind of have to continue creeping forward with the siege tanks to really secure yourself. And oh no, Outplayed creeping forward onto the high ground with a lot of tanks. He will be able to do fire to these Marauders. Let's see if Clash wants to try to engage, maybe try to go for a backswing. He actually does send a few Marines out to try to take out the third for Outplayed, and he will be pretty effective. There is one bunker and 3 Hellions. I don't know if it'll be enough to stop this small push. And they are just running past the bunker. Siege tank is in range. It does a great shot, but it is against the Marauder, so it isn't able to do the damage it needs to. And now pulling back out of the siege tank range, it looks like there is only one Marauder left now, and he will just continue to rain fire on these poor SCVs in that gas. Already up to 4 kills. And that's just really, really great. And oh, here come the Hellions now trying to push forward, trying to bait a stim, trying to pull the Marines into position of those siege tanks. And oh, some siege tanks are caught out of position. The flank now running around to the back to try to catch more and more siege tanks out of position. Let's see. Those siege tanks are killed. And here comes Clash running in with his Marines Marauders, trying to take out all of these siege tanks. He is on the high ground, so he's able to do a lot of damage. The scan goes down, and those Marines Marauders just melt to that combined siege tank force. Currently 140 supply to 85, and another Marauder is stimmed. Not sure where he was headed. Perhaps had a death wish. So these siege tanks do need to fall back. They are a little bit out of position without any Hellion support. But as far as units, once again, it is 12 siege tanks and 8 Hellions against 8 Marauders and 5 Marines. We just take a look at the income. Definitely looks like, let's see if we can open that one up. Outplayed is still, well, it's actually relatively even so far as income can go. The main is mined out for both players just because of those mules. The natural is also starting to get dangerously low. It actually looks like Outplayed is running out of minerals first just because he was denied that third expansion for so much longer. He couldn't get the mules, and oh boy, here's a really scary push. A lot of siege tanks and a lot of Hellions are pushing into that third to try to deny it, and all the siege tanks are now firing on the SCVs. They're all lined up. A big Hellion roast about to go down. Oh man, those SCVs are so gonna die. But here come the Marauders on the high ground. They will be able to attack these siege tanks in the low ground, but there is a single SCV scout. It does do its purpose and kill off a lot of those Marines and Marauders, but I don't know if it's enough. The other remaining Marines and Marauders are getting dangerously low in health. There's an excellent siege tank spread. And there we go, another siege tank going down. Looks like Outplayed just isn't really following what's going on. Firing on his own siege tanks now because of that great drop from Clash. But it does look like Outplayed is able to clean this up. He will continue to siege up this third base, and there it is. It's forced to lift off. And once again, Clash is mining off of only one base, while his opponent is mining off of 2, I guess 1.5 bases, just looking at these 4 mineral patches. So really, both players need to be looking towards securing their expansion, and I'm not sure if Outplayed can do that. Now the Banshees getting in to try to take out this expansion. A big stim going down as 2 Marines and 1 Marauder try to take out the siege tank. It is not enough. Now the medevac just standing above that siege tank, flying above it, shouting obscenities, going to see if it can get the siege tank to siege. And there it is. ClashJPEG. GG's. Looks like game number 2 goes to University of Texas at Austin, aka Outplayed. So it is currently a 1-to-1 series. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in game number 3.